What up guys, SuperMetal983 here bringing you another album review, and this time we've got a very vicious and deadly release for you to check out. If you're into your down tempo or your beat down, then this is definitely for you. But I'm going to be reviewing the debut EP from Detest entitled Human Scum. This is going to be released on the Holocron Records. Now, if you aren't too familiar with Detest, they are a 5-piece, as I said, beat down, tempo deathcore band hailing from Manchester, and yeah, let's get straight on to this review. It's 5 tracks and runs just over 18 minutes in length, 18 minutes 15 to be precise, if you want to be picky and all that. But yeah, this EP is something that I've been really looking forward to ever since I've been speaking to Dan from Holocron Records and Christian, who is the vocalist of Detest, about this project. And yeah, I got in contact with them to see if they wanted me to review this EP for its release, and here we are to do a review of it. Now, 2019 has been a wash of absolutely outstanding EPs. I mean, we've had highlights so far definitely have to be Annotation from an Autopsy, Street Soldier, and Still Bloom, amongst others. There's just been so many great EPs out there this year. In my opinion, it's taken more of a storm than the albums this year, personally. That's to me anyway, but yeah, we'll see come year's end, because I might be doing a top EP release, you know, list. We'll see what happens comes the end of the year. But anyway, Detest's Human Scum would definitely be one of those EPs that's going to be high up in the list, because this EP is absolutely outstanding, if you ask me. If you want some balls to the wall, brutal, heavy shit in the deathcore world, then look no further than this EP. This is absolutely outstanding stuff. This is actually my first exposure to the band. I didn't listen to their first single that they released, which was called Human Scum. I didn't listen to that. I only listened to maybe a little brief snippet of it, because I wanted it to be fresh to me when I first listened to the EP. So I was really looking forward to checking it out, because there was a lot of hype around this band at the time. So yeah, and I stuck it on, and you start off on the first song, which is like a kind of intro-y sort of track, but it is still brutal as shit, which is called Elimination. It's only just clocks in under 2 minutes long, and that sets up the EP, in my opinion, perfectly. With straight from the get-go, you get an explosive sound of just sheer, utter, down-tempo, low, slow goodness, if you ask me. Like, oh my god, it kicks you straight in the teeth from the get-go. You know straight away that what you've got coming for you is an all-out brutal and slow, just dreary assault of down-tempo right here. Like, honestly, I fell in love straight. I was like, yeah, this is going to be something pretty fucking brutal from the get-go. And then we'll flow into the song, which I said before, Human Scum, which in my opinion is an absolutely banger of a track, and you just need to hear it. There'll be a link down below where you can check out that and the full EP, because I believe it is on Slam Worldwide, if I'm not mistaken. So link down below if you want to check it out. But anyway, yeah, that song is absolutely barbaric and relentless. But when I was speaking to Christian, he said that that's not even touching close as the heaviest song on this release, and I was like, ooh. If that's what you're talking about, then I definitely just want to hear the full release straight away. So yeah, I listened to it from beginning to end, and when that song came on, I was like, is it going to get heavier than this? And it really does, as it flows into the third song, which is Misery, which is one of my favourites on this EP. It's just filled with so much misery and just downright despair and just gut-wrenching filth, if you ask me. Like, this is a spot-on release if you want to hear some just sickening, disgustingly heavy down-tempo. I mean, there's been some great down-tempo being presented in 2019, if you ask me, but Detest is definitely up there in my ranks as being one of the best of the year so far, especially if you hear the song Misery. If you just heard the song Misery, you go, yep, that is fucking heavy, and definitely is worthy of a top release of 2019, if you ask me. And then you flow into the fourth song, which is definitely my favourite song on this EP, which is called Hell. And a lot of reasons behind this track being my favourite, because it's got a kind of like really dark, sinister, kind of like as if blackened sort of feel to it at the start. Like, it kind of feels like a bit of influence from the likes of Thy Art Is Murder or Lorna Shore, for example. It's not like a truly, like, black metal sound. It just sounds very dark and very evil sounding, but it really does add to the overall atmosphere of that track. It makes it sound just that much more heavier and darker at the same time, which in that kind of combination sounds pretty damn good, if you ask me. Like, it kind of put us in mind, when I first heard it, kind of put us in mind of Black Tongue's The Unconquerable Dark. So if that sounds up your alley, then definitely hear that song, because you won't be disappointed. And it also features a guest spot of a band that we've talked about recently on this channel, which is Lashing Out. This is Connor Musket. Sorry, I'm struggling to read with the light. I know it seems pretty bright, but yeah, Connor laying down his vocals, and we talked about Lashing Out in a previous review, and his vocals are just downright filthy and disturbing sounding, and his vocal take on this, adding to Christian's as well, it just sounds just like a match made in heaven, you could say, to quote Architects a little bit there, but, you know, it just sounds just right together. It just sounds putrid and disgusting sounding, and it just gives you chills just listening to it. It gives me chills every time I hear it, and that is definitely why I think it makes it my favourite song on this EP. But also, you float into the last track on this EP, which is called Abuser, which features Stuart Carson of Mortal Shift, which we'll get to in a little second. But yeah, that song is just a perfect conclusion to this EP, where you go balls to the wall, just no relentlessness, just unrelenting, just barbaric, and just massive punch to the face, down tempo right here. I mean, when it gets to the end bit, when it says tactical nuke incoming, you're like holding on to dear life, going, I'm ready for it, and then it hits you with that smack on the snare, and it just explodes in your face. And I know that's gonna backfire on us, but oh well. But yeah, it just explodes, and it's just like, oh dear God. It just hits you right in the face like a 10-ton fucking hammer, and my God, it packs a fucking punch. And then Stuart's vocals on here definitely give it that kind of like more of a beat-downy hardcore sort of sensation and flavour to it that really breaks it up a little bit and gives it a really unique factor, if you ask me, and definitely is something that's really stuck out. I love the variation when it comes to down-tempo releases, when they bring in all sorts of influences from hardcore to black and stuff or whatever, to create a unique character to them, and I feel like Detest has really done that with this EP. Overall, the production sounds absolutely fantastic. It sounds menacing and very thick sounding. It's really just packs a wallop when you hear it, with those massive, chunky, beefy guitar tones on there, and the drums being really well executed. It's just loud and punchy, and it just kicks you. The drums kick you right in the teeth, if you ask me. And then that rumbly bass tone just adding overall to the overall heaviness of this and making it just seem a lot more chunky, and it's just absolutely fantastic. And I have to say though, getting back onto Christian, his vocals are just filthy, man, just pure filth right here. Like, honestly, like, them vocals are just absolutely disgusting sound. They kind of, at some points, they do remind us of a combination of Jason Evans and I forget his surname off the top of my head, but Don from Waking the Cadaver, kind of unique blend of those. So it just sounds pure fucking filthy, man, if you ask me. So it kind of has that kind of like slam orientatedness with the vocals, but it's still really thick and beefy, chunky sounding down tempo. So if you want some sick down tempo that's not going to let you down and not back up, then this is definitely for you. I'd recommend this EP if you're a fan of the likes of Ingested, Waking the Cadaver, Bound in Fear, Black Tongue, Thy Art Is Murder, anything like that, then this is definitely a release that you need to check out. Detest with their debut EP, Detest with Home Scum. I'll get it in a second. Detest with Human Scum, released on the Holocrown Records. There'll be links down below. For an overall score, I'm going to give this a solid 9 out of 10. Absolutely fantastic EP, and make sure you check this one out. Link down below. And I'll see you until the next video. And remember, stay metal, and I'll see you later.